Hello everyone, it's your boy Lukael and welcome to my first ever Q&A video. So I made a little post on the channel asking you guys whether you had like some questions to ask me, and I did get a couple of them, so we're gonna be answering those today. Yeah, it seems kind of silly, but like the fact that people care enough about the channel and about me to actually ask questions really means a lot to me, so thank you. As you can see, we're no longer in Café Leblanc. Instead, I chose one of my favorite locations in a game, which is Karnaca in Dishonored. More specifically, Karnaca in Death of the Outsider. I really love the vibe of this city and the look of it, so I figured it would make a nice background for this video. Again, much better than my very boring room. So without any further ado, let's get to some questions. So Atroris, also I'm really sorry if I mispronounce any of your names, really sorry about that. So Atroris asks, what's your favorite tattoo that you have and why? So as you probably know, I do indeed have a lot of tattoos. What's my favorite one? Well, I do quite like my chest piece. I don't think I've ever like shown it in full. I can maybe post like a picture of it. I do quite enjoy my chest piece, even though it was like by far the worst one to get. So I do quite like how it looks when I'm wearing like a tank top or something. It didn't turn out like exactly how I wanted, but I still am quite happy with it. Honestly, as simple as they are, I think my favorite one is probably like the ones on my fingers, because like I had this very clear idea of what I wanted, and they turned out exactly how I wanted, and maybe because they're simple, I like them so much. And if you can't really tell, it's basically the symbols for like every planet in the solar system, plus a few other things that maybe you can guess what they are, maybe you can't. I'll leave it up to you guys. But yeah, like I mentioned in the Outer Wilds video, I'm really big into space and astronomy and stuff like that, so thank you Atraris for the question. So next we got a question from Bardic Jen, who asks, what were your favorite games, video or otherwise, growing up? What game really got you into gaming? Well, like the first game I can really remember playing is the first Mega Man on NES, and also probably like Mario and like Duck Hunt, and you know, everyone had that game. But Mega Man was the first one I can remember really getting into, but I was very young at the time. But yeah, when I was young, I was just really into Mario games, really into the Mega Man games. I really liked the Sonic games on Genesis, and then as I got a little older, like I really liked the Final Fantasy games, the Zelda games. Probably like the same games that pretty much everyone was into at the time. So yeah, when I was really young, probably like Mario and Mega Man and Zelda and Final Fantasy would be the main ones, I guess. Thank you so much for the question, Jen. Next we have a few questions from Ceres, aka Lucerius. So, does having your gameplay recorded for an audience affect your mentality or behavior in any way? Definitely yes. Like I've mentioned many times, I'm way stupider when I'm recording a Let's Play. Like I tend to miss a lot of things because my attention is really scattered between a lot of things. So, and of course I'm kind of like acting up a little bit because I know I'm being recorded, so I try to react in a bigger way to events, I guess. But yeah, I think the main thing would be I tend to miss a lot of things while I'm recording because my attention is really divided between a lot of things, and also I have like the stress of performing for you guys at the same time. So like I'm kind of always in a state of like being nervous while I'm being recorded. So it does affect my gameplay a little bit. Like of course it's easy to say right now, but I think I'm much better at games when I'm not being recorded. Like sometimes when I was playing Elden Ring or like even Jedi Survivor, I'm pretty bad at the game, and like if I'm playing by myself, I'm much better. But you'll just have to believe me, I guess. Then they ask, do you illustrate full-time? How long have you been doing it, and how did you learn? Your work is really awesome. Well, first of all, thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I got a few questions on my art, which like wasn't sure how many people actually knew about, because I've had a presence online for a very long time, but it was mostly as an artist before I made the channel. So yeah, some of you might not even know that I'm an artist, and some of you might be here because you knew me from being an artist. But so do you illustrate full-time? Well, it's a little complicated, but basically yes, art is my full-time job. Art was like mostly a hobby for most of my life, although I was doing like a little few side jobs there and there. I've held like a few different kind of jobs. I was a tester for game companies. I was doing like customer service online for a few years. And then a couple years ago, I did quit my day job to try and do art full time, to varying degrees of success, I would say, which is why it's a little complicated right now. I'm actually kind of thinking about maybe going back to like a desk job or a more regular job, because unfortunately it is quite hard to make it as an artist full time. there's not that much work, at least I haven't been able to find that much. And it also doesn't pay very well, unfortunately, unless you're a very, very big artist, which I'm not. So as of right now, yes, it is my full-time job. However, I am thinking about maybe branching out to some other stuff, but we'll see. How long have you been doing it? Well, if you're asking how long I've been drawing, pretty much my entire life, so like more than 30 years at this point. Ever since I've been old enough to hold a pencil, I've been kind of doodling and drawing, and I would say I started doing it more professionally, like for money, maybe like early 2010s, but again, it wasn't until like 2 or 3 years ago that I was doing it full time. How did I learn? Just by doing it, honestly. Like, I didn't go to art school or anything like that. I've just been doing it so long that I kind of got okay at it, I guess. And also, you know, just from learning from other artists, of course, and like watching tutorials online, and I did buy a few online classes over time, but basically, yeah, just from doing it a lot. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen any of my art, I guess I could like put a few of them on screen, or like I can put a link to my portfolio in like the description of the video, so if you're curious, go ahead and check it out. And then they also ask, what kind of music do you listen to? Honestly, I do kind of listen to a little bit of everything. I know that's kind of cheap to say, but nowadays I'm a bit more into like electronic music. My big like favorite band at the moment is Magdalena Bay. Like that's kind of all I've been listening to for the last year. And just, you know, kind of indie music, rock music, any kind of weird like trip hop, you know, the kind of music to study and sleep to, like chill hop, that kind of stuff I'm really into. I really love Shibuya Kei, so like the kind of music you hear in like Katamari. So like Pizzicato 5 and like Serrani Poggi. I really love the band Ghost. I love Steam Powered Giraffe. Mute Mat was like a big favorite of mine for a long time. Capsule is another really big one that I really love. So that kind of stuff, I guess. I do listen to just a lot of game music, so like game soundtracks. Of course, all the music from the Persona games, because Shoji Meguro is just fucking amazing. So like the music from Persona 3, 4, 5, the dancing games, the Persona Q games. As I'm sure you can tell from like the music that plays in my videos, I tend to use those a lot. So yeah, I would say that's about it. Thank you so much for the questions. Next, we got a question from Siri Knockoff, which if that's you and your icon, I don't know, that's a pretty spot on Siri. I wouldn't say knockoff, but how many of your tattoos are gaming related? Why did you choose those motives specifically? 4 of my tattoos are gaming related. I have the mark of Yevon from Final Fantasy X here, because that's my favorite Final Fantasy. I've got the Paragon and Renegade from Mass Effect. I have Gravity Rush written in the Gravity Rush like fictional alphabet. And then I of course have the mark of the Outsider from Dishonored. So these are the only 4 that are like gaming related. My sleeves and stuff, there's nothing gaming related there. I am planning on getting an Outer Wilds tattoo as well, like either the launch codes or like the coordinates for the eye. Probably both. I just haven't really figured out where I'm gonna get them yet, but I'm definitely gonna get those as well, because Outer Wilds is now up there as one of my favorite games, so definitely needs a tattoo to commemorate that. So thank you so much for the question, and also thank you for commenting on a lot of my videos. I really appreciate it. Next, we got a question from Necronome Tattoo, which happens to be my brother, who asks, when are you playing Sekiro? Yeah, so as some of you may know, there is episode 1 of Sekiro on the channel dating back from like, I think 2 years ago. So I had started the playthrough and then I just kind of fell off, and it wasn't because I didn't like the game. I actually quite enjoyed it. I kind of just took a break from filming videos because like I was moving and just other stuff got in the way, but I am planning to get back to it eventually. So I was playing Elden Ring for a very long time, so of course I wasn't going to play Sekiro at the same time because they're kind of similar. And it wasn't that long ago that we finished Elden Ring, so I'm kind of taking like a little break from Souls games for now. But I am planning on coming back to Sekiro eventually, so maybe after Zelda. We'll see, but I will be playing it eventually. Like, merci bro pour ta question. Kickster asks, if you ever got the chance to write a book or make a movie or a video game with no limitations at all, what kind of style and story would you like to tell, show, or explore? That's a really interesting question. I never really thought about that much. But the answer is pretty simple. I would just make a game about my story of Malard and Leblanc, which you've probably seen the poster behind me in my room, which is like a poster that I made. It's like a story that I co-developed with my really good friend Audrey. It takes place in this fictional city called Celestine, and it's in like alternate history 1895. It follows the adventures of my character Charlie. She's like a private detective. So if I was to make a game, I would just make a game about this story. It would just be like a third-person adventure where you can explore the city. It would be non-violent, like there wouldn't be any combat system or anything. And you can just talk to everyone in the city and like create relationships and friendships. Dress up your character, like buy different clothes. I would try and add like a lot of little fun elements like cooking and dressing up and like solving mysteries and learning the lore of the world and the city and helping people solve their problems and solving crimes. So yeah, it would have like elements of visual novel and like mystery solving, puzzles, exploration. So it would be kind of like a cross between like the Professor Layton games and like Ace Attorney, L.A. Noire, a little bit of like Animal Crossing kind of life simulator in there. Yeah, I think that would be really, really fun. Of course, it's never gonna happen because I don't work in games, I don't have the budget, I don't have a team. Yeah, that would be like my dream project. Now I'm kind of bummed out thinking how that's never gonna happen, but never say never. You never know where life's gonna take us, so who knows. Thank you so much for the question. So Milky Cola, aka Lexa B asks, do you have any pets? I do have pets. I have 2 cats. The first is called Picaro. It's a cat that my dad actually found outside his house because his mother got scared by like my dad's dog, and so she just kind of abandoned him when he was a kitten in front of his house, and so he left it there waiting for the mom to come pick it up, and she never came back for it, unfortunately, so he took it in. And but my dad's not really a cat person, so he told me like, do you want to have it? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's kind of a little shit. He's really mischievous, but I really love him. And then my other cat is Beatrix. She's a Siberian that my sister had gotten for herself, but unfortunately someone in her family was allergic, so she kind of dumped her on me. And she's super lovely, just one of the nicest cats I've ever had, really. So yeah, these are my 2 fluffy babies, and I love them very much. Lexa also asks, are there other YouTubers that you look up to or are inspired by? I don't watch like a ton of other Let's Play channels. I did watch a lot of like Game Grumps for a long time. I haven't really watched any of their more recent stuff though. Of course I watch my girlfriend's channel, and I used to watch my friend Joe's channel. I was kind of inspired by them, to be honest, because they made their channels before me, and I was like, oh, you know, that looks fun, maybe I could do that. I was inspired by gaming videos like the Unraveled series by Brian David Gilbert. I watched those a lot. I guess he is an inspiration kind of for the humor and edits in my videos. I watched a lot of Dashi because I just love like his energy and his personality. And he does scream a lot, which can get a little grating sometimes, but his Mario Maker series was really fun. There's a lot of like inside jokes and stuff like that. One of the only ones I watch now is like Mapocalypse, I'm not sure how you say the name, but a lot of you are probably familiar with him because he also has an Outer Wilds playthrough. I've been watching a lot of his playthroughs because, well, first of all, he plays a lot of games. He's very thorough. He kind of has a similar style to mine, I guess, where it's more like a little bit more chill. There's no edits in his videos though, but yeah, I would definitely name him as an inspiration because, to be honest, like before I started making videos, I kind of thought, you know, there's not really a place for someone like me to make Let's Plays because most of the Let's Players I was used to, they were like very energetic and very high energy and like big personalities, and I was like, oh, I'm not like that at all, so I don't think anyone would actually watch any of my videos. But then when I found Mapo, you know, he is a more kind of chill dude and very more like calm and just, you know, taking his time, just going through games like at his own pace and being very thorough. And I was like, oh, you know, clearly there's an audience for that because I enjoy his videos and clearly a lot of other people do, so maybe I could do it. It kind of helped me realize that maybe there was a place for me to make videos, even though I'm not like a huge personality or like a really funny guy or anything like that. I could just like, you know, just play games and just put it out there, and hopefully some people would watch, and thankfully a few of you guys are, so yeah, that would be about it for other YouTubers. Thank you so much for the questions. So next we have a question from Nirak. I'm not sure. Do you like puzzle games? If yes, what do you think? Will such games be interesting for the channel? And I think they meant games like The Witness and stuff like that. I do really enjoy puzzle games like the Professor Layton games, even The Witness, and like puzzle platformers, stuff like that. I do really enjoy these games. I'm not sure they're like a great fit for the channel though, because like most of the gameplay amounts to me just like kind of staring at the screen, just kind of trying to understand what to do. There wouldn't really be like a lot to comment on, I guess. So yeah, I do play quite a few of these games on my own time, but I'm not sure it would be such a great fit for the channel just because like there's not that much to comment on. You've seen it in enough of my videos where I just sit there trying to figure out some puzzle for the longest time. I'm just like just sitting there with my wheels turning. It's not that riveting to watch, unfortunately. I do enjoy them, probably not gonna play any of them on the channel though, but thank you for the question. Showed asks, how far ahead do you have games planned? Like how many games do you have in your list of games to play on the channel? Well, I always have like 2 series running at the same time, so I typically know at least what the next 2 games I'm gonna play are. Like right now I'm playing Ratchet & Clank and Jedi Survivor, so I know what games I'm gonna play after those. So I don't have like that many more in advance. I do have a very long list of games that I want to play on the channel. So typically what I'll do is if I have a very long game, like when I was playing Elden Ring, I try to have like shorter games on the side. So when I'll be playing Zelda, I'm gonna try and have like a few shorter games running at the same time. And I do want to let you guys kind of have an input on what I'm gonna play next. So what I'll do is I just have like a few options of what I want to play next. And then I'll just do a poll on the channel and let you guys decide what I play. Also, I'm always open to suggestions. So if you have any game suggestions, recommendations, or anything like that, always feel free to leave them in the comments. For you specifically, I know you wanted to know if I was going to play Hollow Knight. Unfortunately, I did play Hollow Knight before making the channel, so I won't be playing it. However, whenever Silk Song comes out, you can be sure I'm going to be playing that because I really love Hollow Knight and I cannot wait for Silk Song. It's probably at this point my most anticipated game to come in the future. So you can definitely expect a Silk Song playthrough. So thank you so much for the question. Next we have Spuff who asks, your artwork is great. Thank you very much. What got you into art initially? Have you ever created any art content for a game? Well, like I said before, I've kind of always just been drawing just like as a hobby. What really got me into drawing more, I guess just from playing games, like I wanted to draw the characters from the games I was playing, and I also really loved the art in the instruction booklets. Kids these days don't really know about that, but back in my day, when you got a game, you would get like a little instruction booklet in the case, and there would be like pictures of the characters and stuff like that, and I used to really love going through these. I almost like collected them. And I think that was a big inspiration as well. And then as I got older, I started reading like mangas and stuff like that. And then Dragon Ball was a huge inspiration. Like I was always kind of drawing, and then when I started reading Dragon Ball, I started like really drawing even more, trying to emulate the style, and it just kind of all snowballed from there. As far as creating art for a game, I have not, although I would really love to. I guess it's kind of like a bucket list thing for me, is eventually making the art for a game. I am working on the art for a board game right now, which may come out sometime in the future, but as far as a video game, I've never done that, but I would love to. I think maybe my art would be best suited for like a visual novel kind of game, something like that. Again, I don't think that's gonna happen, but never say never. If the opportunity came along, I would love to do it, so thank you for the question. Next we have Nikita, who asks a whole bunch of questions, which, hey, I asked you guys to send some questions, so I will answer all of them. So, what part of creating videos do you enjoy or appreciate the most? Do you do all the editing yourself? Well, first of all, yes, I do all the editing of my videos myself. It's just kind of something I learned to do. So basically how this channel got started was a few years back. Like I would record some gameplay videos of me and my friend Audrey playing, because we were getting into all these weird games and like funny stuff was always happening to us, and I was like, oh, it's a shame that we don't like have it recorded where we could watch it again. So like I started recording some of our gameplay, and then like I would edit it together and try to put some jokes in and then show it just to her and try and make her laugh. So I was just kind of making videos for an audience of one. And then as I kept doing that, I started learning more and more about like video editing, and I realized that I actually really enjoy it. So what part of creating videos do I enjoy the most? I would say the editing, honestly, because being on camera like this is still a little bit weird for me. I do still get like very nervous, like I keep fumbling my words. I'm just kind of awkward on camera, and makes me pretty nervous still. Even after all these videos, you would think I'm getting used to it, but it's still pretty difficult for me to be on camera. But the editing part I actually really enjoy because I can get pretty methodical about it and like get creative and try and slip some jokes in, and I just find it pretty relaxing to do. Like I just sit there, review the footage, and also I do enjoy making thumbnails just because of my artistic side, I guess. Like it is pretty fun to be like, oh, which picture should I choose? And like it's always kind of like a fun little game in itself to try and summarize the episode as a single picture. So like as stupid as it sounds, my favorite parts of making videos are not actually recording, but like everything else that comes afterward. Then they ask, how do you balance your gaming passion and channel stuff with the rest of your life? How the heck are you so consistent in terms of schedule? Well, again, like I've mentioned, I am an illustrator full-time, so being on my own schedule definitely helps a lot. If I was working like full-time in an office, it would definitely make things a little bit more difficult to find time to record, but since I am on my own schedule, that makes it a little bit easier. And also I do record quite a bit in advance. Like I'll try and record a batch of videos to have like a few weeks ahead of me in case of like anything happens or yeah, the sad truth is I'm just not really that busy of a person. Like I don't have a lot going on in my life at all, as sad as it is to say. You've been making complete playthroughs from start to finish. Would you say you have a perfectionist, completionist side? Also, is there any game that you've started but didn't like and never even uploaded the first episode? Do you have such a protocol in place in case you end up not enjoying a new game? Okay, well that's a very long question. Do you have a perfectionist, completionist side? Absolutely yes. Perfectionist, very much so, which makes like the creative aspects of my job very difficult. Whether it is with art or making videos, because like I will spend a lot of time on tiny little details that probably no one would even notice. But it's just like I just have to, you know, I have to make everything perfect. It also makes me very, very critical of my own like art and videos. Like to be perfectly honest with you, I'm really not satisfied at all with the quality of my videos, whether it's like the content, the quality, the audio, like the jokes, the thumbnails, like basically everything I do I think could be a lot better. I'm very, very, very critical of my own work. I would say a bit less so than I am with art, but still. Completionist also, yes, although I've been getting a lot better at that as I grew older. Like I used to kind of force myself to finish games even if I didn't really like them that much, but now I've kind of learned to, you know, finish a game for what it is, and if I don't really like it, then just, you know, move on to another one. As far as the channel, however, I have not recorded any video that I didn't post. Every video that I've recorded, I've also posted on the channel. I did consider that situation that you're describing of like, what if I play a game and I find out it's really not fit for a Let's Play at all, or like it's just really bad, and then I would just not post it, probably. I would just like edit it or even stop midway through the recording and be like, this is a bad idea, like this isn't gonna work as a Let's Play. But I have a pretty good idea of like what games work as a Let's Play, usually. And if I'm not sure, they're pretty short games anyway, so I would probably just like finish them and just post them anyways and be done with it. What are the best and the worst videos that you've ever made? The one you're least proud of? It would be funny to know if you have such opinions on your videos and are comfortable sharing. The worst video I've made? If there's a worst video on my channel, it is not public right now. Like it's a video that I would have unlisted a long time ago. Like the very, very early videos that I used to make with my friend, they're pretty bad, but like they weren't really meant to be seen by a lot of people anyways. I would say the first few episodes of my Last of Us 2 playthrough are really bad just because the visual quality was really bad because I didn't really know how to record properly. I was doing it like straight from the PlayStation, which just looked terrible. And so when I looked back at the footage, I was like, oh man, this looks terrible. It was like in 720 or like even worse. But I couldn't just skip the beginnings. So they are still on the channel, but they look pretty terrible. The best video I've made, the one I'm most proud of, it's kind of hard to say. The videos that I've done the best are definitely the Outer Wilds playthrough. So I guess just because of that, I'm pretty proud of them, even though they're kind of the same quality as everything else, to be honest. But I just think it did make for a really fun playthrough because, not even because of my own merit, but just because of the nature of the game, like just the nature of solving mysteries and putting the pieces together just makes for a great Let's Play, which obviously is why Outer Wilds is such a popular playthrough on YouTube. But I also think I did a pretty good job with that playthrough. Like it's kind of a good, maybe I'm biased or influenced by the fact that like I got so many more comments and compliments about that series than all the others, but I think I did a pretty good job with that playthrough. And especially the finale of Echoes of the Eye, I had a lot of footage to edit through, and I was able to condense it in like a pretty nice episode, I think. So I remember being pretty proud of that one. Yeah. Do you watch other gaming YouTubers yourself? Do you have any favorites, source of inspiration, etc.? We've kind of covered that one already. Follow-up question, if you watch any streams or read comments on other channels, what kind of communities do you enjoy most? If you could choose, what kind of community would you like to cultivate? I mean stuff like poking fun at each other and lots of inside jokes, or more introspective and serious viewers? That's an interesting question. I've never really thought about that. I just kind of make videos of stuff that I like, so I'm hoping to attract people who like the same kind of stuff that I do, I guess. I do hope I get to build like a nice community on this channel, and I guess the aspects I would appreciate the most is just like, you know, I guess just kind of a mix of what you described, like people who do joke around, and like I would love if people had kind of like running jokes and recurring gags about videos on the channel that they would like keep bringing up. That would be really fun. But also, you know, the introspective aspect and really kind of discussing the deeper meanings in the games and like deeper mechanics, and I try and kind of mix these two myself in my own videos. Like I try to have a little bit of humor and a little bit of jokes, but also like to be pretty, you know, analytical and like introspective about the games we're playing and try to discuss them in a serious manner. So, and of course for people to, you know, just be respectful with each other and be nice, and we're all here to have a fun time, so that's kind of all that matters really. What happened to Subnautica? It was last seen on your channel a couple months ago. Do you know anything about Subnautica's disappearance? Are you holding it hostage? Hashtag justice for Subnautica. Okay, well, to be clear, I never started the Subnautica playthrough. If you're talking about me saying I would play it, I do still intend to play it. If you don't know, Subnautica was by far the most requested game after Outer Wilds. So I do still very much intend to play it. It's just that I know it's a pretty long game, and I didn't want to run it with Elden Ring, which was already very long. And after Elden Ring, I just wanted to get into Zelda, because like I'm a big Zelda fan, so I really want to get to that one. But Subnautica will come. I'm kind of like keeping it in the back pocket because it was requested so much. I have a feeling it's gonna do pretty well on the channel, so I'm kind of like keeping it in the chamber, you know, in my back pocket. Like I'm just gonna spring it on you guys eventually, you know, as a surprise, be like, okay, here we go, Subnautica, it's time. So yeah, Subnautica will happen. And finally, Nikita said, I appreciate that you're just a guy in his boring room making videos in his free time. We're also just boring people in our respective rooms, and so you deserve something back. Do you have an email or a website or something where people could send you fan art or personal comments or whatever else? How can people reach you? Well, Nikita, thank you very much for being such a good wingman and giving me the opportunity to plug my stuff here. I really don't expect fan art or anything like that to come to me. I think I'm much too small of a channel for that, but definitely don't be shy to leave a comments in any of my videos. You can leave recommendations for game. If you have any suggestions for the channel, feel free. You can also find me on pretty much every other social media. I mostly use them for art, but you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Tumblr, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me pretty much on every platform, to be honest. I would say, unfortunately, I'm probably most active on the fucking garbage dump that is Twitter. Oh, sorry, X. I'm most active on X. More importantly, you can also find me on Patreon. If you would like to support the channel in any way, the best way is by subscribing to my Patreon. I do have like a basic tier and also like a channel supporter tier if you want early access to the videos. So if you want to support the channel, becoming a patron is kind of the best way. For now, the channel supporter tier offers like early access to videos. Eventually, I would love to add more rewards to it. I think it could be fun to open like a Discord server at some point for subscribers of the channel. I think I'm still way too small of a channel for a server, but like if the channel keeps growing and if people ask for it, then I would love at some point to make a Discord server and try and build a nice little community on there. I think that would be really nice. So that's something maybe for the future. So thank you so much, Nikita, for all of your questions and also for all your other comments on the videos. I really appreciate them. So I guess that's it for our first ever Q&A. That actually went by pretty fast. Like I thought I had a lot of questions and it kind of just went by really quickly. Again, a big, huge thank you to everyone who sent in some questions. I hope I didn't forget any of you. I know I'm really repeating myself, but the fact that you guys watch the videos and like engage with the channel, leave comments, and just care about what I do, it really do means a lot. It's the whole reason why I keep making these videos. So, you know, the channel is still really small. Like most of my videos still do under 100 views each. And so sometimes it does still feel like I'm just kind of screaming in the void. Like I'll post a video and I'm like, sometimes it just doesn't feel like anyone is watching them, you know? But then I'll get some comments of people saying like, I watch most of what you post, or like, I'm a little bit behind, but I plan on watching your playthroughs very soon. And I'm like, oh wow, so people actually watch them. It just still kind of blows my mind. It's been really gratifying, really validating, and overall just been a ton of fun for me to make these videos and to make this channel. So thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of it. I guess I'll make another Q&A video when we reach 2,000 subscribers. I don't even know if that's gonna happen, but hopefully it will. But until that fateful day, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.